That's it. Well, Paul, if you look over here, we're live.
Hey,
We are live. You and me, baby.
great. Glad to be here.
Okay. Welcome to Donny T and friends, my good friends out there. Don't forget, this is a no knock, no bash zone. So if you got some bad shit to say, go somewhere and say it to them. We don't do that here, okay? But Paul and I agreed on one thing. I'm dedicating this show to our good friend, Jay Baker. We love you, Jay.
Jay's a good man.
Yes.
Very courageous man, brave man. Always keeps a smile on his face.
Braver than I have ever been.
And we love you,
Yeah.
Jay. We
love you, brother.
rooting for you, pal.
Now, this is my good friend, Paul Deangelo. He is so multi-talented. I've been trying to get him on this show since like day one, okay? And finally, he decided to come here. I would like to have him come here on a more frequent basis. And after we have a great time tonight, he's going to want to, okay? So do me a favor, will you?
What?
Tell them who you are. Tell them about you a little bit.
That's tough to put in a nutshell.
Well, you're a nice
stand-up comedian for 37 years. I've been headlining comedy clubs all around the country, the world, for 37 years. When I started doing comedy, I was an assistant district attorney. I was an assistant DA in Essex County, Massachusetts for 11 years. Then I became a criminal defense trial attorney.
Wow.
And at the same time, I was doing comedy. And I was working almost every night. And I gave that up in 96. I went to California and lived in Hollywood for 6 years.
Yeah.
You
must have worked. Yeah, you must have worked with a lot of celebrity types.
Over the years, of course, And back when I started, I started in it was like 86, so it's about 37 years ago. And back then, I used to use my guitar in my act.
Yeah.
Just at the end, like for the last few minutes, and then, but I used to open up for all the bands. I opened up for like 60 international recording artists, like Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis and the News, Engelbert, Tom Jones, Lyle Lovett. Man, I can't even think of all the people.
I love every single one of those people you just mentioned.
Meatloaf, Ario Speedwagon, Doobie Brothers.
Wow.
Let's see, who else? Joan Rivers, Jay Leno, George Carlin.
What did you think of Carlin?
Huh?
What did you think of Carlin?
I met him most of these people back in those days, nobody had you didn't have a camera on your phone, I didn't really take pictures with many of these people or even meet a lot of them. Or even when I did, it was like, hey, how you doing? But I got stories about most of them though. I got stories about most. The Monkees.
Let me just say
the Hall & Oates.
Let me just say one thing.
Yeah.
I know my viewing audience as curious as the day is long. So if you happen to have one of those stories lingering in that brilliant mind of yours.
Well, I told you that I was an assistant DA. I was a prosecutor for 11 years. So I just mentioned Hall & Oates. There's, for example, Hall & Oates. I was at the Club Casino up in Hampton, and that was like my regular thing back then. I did like a dozen more of these shows every summer there. And I opened up for Hall & Oates. They had an acoustic tour.
Yeah.
And they were great, obviously. And all the guys who worked the stage, they came up to me. Hall & Oates manager, he loves you. They're gonna take him on. They're gonna take you on tour with him.
Really?
Really? Yeah. They're all patting me on the back. They're going on that. They're going to this national tour. They're gonna take you with them. You're gonna be the opening act. This is unbelievable. I love it. Right. So go talk to Jimmy Goodwin, the owner. He was in the office. Jimmy's with the Hall & Oates manager now. Really? Go in and see him. So I went in. I opened the door. There's Jimmy with the manager. I go, hi. You wanted to talk to me? He goes, yeah, that's all we need, a fucking DA on the bus. I go, I won't say anything. I'll quit my job. I'll smoke a joint with you. I don't give a shit what. Yeah, so I blew that. Yeah, that was the story of my life.
Oh, that's funny.
The Monkees, because I mentioned them. Now, see, a lot of these stories I forget, but people tell me them later because to me it's like every day, So the Monkees, it was the three of them. It was Mickey, Davey and Peter, but there was no Michael. But they did an acoustic set too. That was an acoustic set. And they were fantastic.
Really?
But before the show,
I didn't even know they were actual musicians.
oh yeah, they were great. And before the show, I went into the office and Jimmy Goodwin, the owner, said that the manager of the Monkees wants to talk to you. Now, I found out later that the manager of the Monkees was like the biggest asshole. He was like, nobody liked him. He was a real dick. So I went in there and I said, you want to talk to me? He says, yeah, you know, we just did a show. There was like 2,000 or 3,000 people just like this. And the comedian was dirty, and you can't be dirty. There's only a handful of kids out there, but you can't be dirty. I said, well, I didn't plan on being dirty. I understand that. And don't worry, that won't be a problem. But the Monkees were only like 10 feet away. And I didn't want to go over and introduce myself. So I said, would you please introduce me to the Monkees? I don't have time for this right now. Come and see me out. I don't have time for this. And I said, oh, okay. He said, well, I'll see you after the show. So I did the show. It went great. I waited around. Back then I had the guitar and stuff. So I got my guitar. I've got the cord and everything. And I'm waiting for an hour and a half while they're breaking down the stage and everything. I wait for an hour and a half. The Monkees finally come out from the dressing room. They're ready to go to the bus. There they are again, 10 feet away from me. And there's the manager. And I said, hi, I've been patiently waiting. I said, you promised me, were you happy with the show? Very happy. Okay. Oh, you promised me you would introduce me. I don't have time for this. We're going to go on the bus. We're going to leave. We're going to. And they said, this is what the guys that were working the stage, they told me. They said, I picked up my guitar. I picked up the cord. I went up to the manager about a couple inches from his nose. I said, it's the Monkees. It's not the fucking Who. And I turned and walked out of the place. And that was it. Yeah, it's like, it's the Monkees, you know. So, yeah.
A lot of assholes in the business.
Oh, a lot, especially when I lived out in L.A. I mean, I was a criminal defense attorney. I was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
I met more assholes in a month
there
than I met in a year in the courthouse. And that includes the lawyers.
Yeah. You must have wrote some material from some of the events.
Well, when I lived in LA, I always regretted that when I was a prosecutor, that things would happen every day.
Yeah.
And I would make them funny, or funny things would happen, or things that could make it funny, or interesting stories. I regretted I never wrote down the stuff because you forget, you know, because the next day it's a crazy day in court. I got 100 cases that I'm supervising. I supervised the busiest jury session in Massachusetts for a couple of years. At the end of the it was beginning of the 90s. It was all the Lynn cases went to the Peabody jury. So well, it was busy, but every day was crazy. So, you know, something funny or something would happen one day, and the next day you're back in it again, and it gets all lost in the translation. But you know, when I got to LA and I moved to LA, it started to suck immediately.
Really?
I'm like this is going to be a disaster, like right from like minute one from the time I got there. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do what I did in the DA's office. I'm going to start writing a diary. Yeah. Because I'll be a superstar in like a year. They'll discover me and
keep going. I got to look at this here.
What's that? What are you looking at? Oh, what people?
Paul to you, Paul Deangelo. Who is that? That's Tracy Gamwell.
Hi, Tracy.
We have Sunshine Productions. Are you still a licensed attorney just for the hell of it?
You know what? I don't even know what. First of all, you stopped me right in the middle of a thing here.
Oh, my apologies.
It's a nice place you got here. I'm going to see if my tetanus shot is up to date. Am I? You know what? If you do nails, if you do Pilates, if you do almost anything, you have to go to continuing education.
Yeah.
Not a lawyer. A lawyer, more than anyone, should be up. People call me now, you were a great defense attorney. I said, you want to go to a doctor that hasn't operated in 25 years? No, you don't want me. You got to be up to date, right? Because the laws change, everything changed, the procedures change, but not lawyers.
Yeah.
All lawyers have to do, you send in a $300 to the bar association, and you're a lawyer again for the next year, right? Do you know why? I figured it out. All legislators are lawyers. They have little law practices. They don't want to have to go to continuing education, so they never vote on, requiring lawyers to go to continuing education. Maybe they do now, but they didn't. Yeah. There was nothing like you didn't have to go to refresher course. So yes, the answer is I am still a lawyer. I get a lot of, but it comes in handy. All that stuff, it came in handy as a comedian.
Yeah,
I had done like 100 trials before I got on the stage for the first time in front of a jury, in front of a judge.
Sorry for interrupting you if I did.
No. Go ahead, just busting your balls. What are these people?
You know I'm sensitive.
I can't see shit.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm gonna got my glasses on. Hey guys, that was a big. Press the like, guys and gals. Okay, Sunshine Productions. Are you still a licensed attorney?
Look at two old bastards looking like I can't see shit. Hey, what's that say?
Yeah, my next eyeglass prescription is going to be a CNI dog, I think. So, yeah. Let me just say one thing about this guy, okay? He's here because I love him. But here's a guy that's got so much going on in his life. He's not pretentious at all. If he likes you, he likes you. Driving down the road, you get a phone call. Hello? Hey, what's up? I just called to tell you I love you. This guy. He's done it several times.
Because I do love you. Good guy.
And it touches my heart like you can't believe. Everybody here knows I'm a sensitive bastard.
Yeah.
You know. Doesn't make me weak. It makes me just sensitive. So, you know. Anyway.
You're going to make me cry?
Go ahead.
I'm fucking kidding.
I'll cry. We'll cry together. We'll have a cry in. Come on, come up with something now.
What do you want me to come up with? You're the fucking host. You're supposed to keep this thing rolling.
But you told me I didn't have to even ask you a question. You would have them all ready.
Well, you don't let dead space. What do you want to give me?
I don't like dead space.
Pick a topic between your ears. What?
These guys are the best. You're gonna be an official member of Donny T and Friends. And they're all going to become your friends.
Yeah. I like it down here in the basement. Who's the guy with the rubber ball in his mouth with the leather outfit down in the sub basement there? Who's that? The gimp.
You should see the girl in the other room.
Oh, great. I thought I heard muffled screams. But well, ask a question.
Oh, okay. Now I know you.
No math.
No, me either. I hate math.
No. Okay.
How long were you in LA for?
6 years, but I could have failed in 3.
Yeah.
I knew I was done in LA. I should have known the first week. It was like the second or third day I was there. I'm going down Sunset Boulevard, which was only 2 blocks from where I lived on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And it's busy. It's like noontime. It's crazy traffic. Everything is busy intersection. Maybe at like La Brea or something. And pressing the button to cross the street is a dwarf wearing a cowboy hat, chaps, spurs, pink vest, and nobody's looking.
Nobody.
As if to say, I've seen a smaller dwarf with a bigger hat. You know, they go, I'm done. Unless you get some gimmick here in Hollywood, but it's. But you know what? It was a good lesson. It was a good. I wrote 6. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
They're called an LA Miserable.
Oh, really?
And I've published 3. I've had 3 of them published. LA Miserable 1, 2, or 3, and I should do the 4th one, but I kept a running diary. That's what we were talking. Coming back here. That I said I'm going to keep a running diary, and I made those into 3. I've written, and I've had 6 books published, and those 3 of them were those LA diaries.
How can they find the books?
Which are hilarious, by the way. You can go on pdeangelo.com. You can go on my website, or you can go to Amazon, and they're all on there. All 6 of the books.
And they're called?
Two books are called Stories I Tell and More Stories to Tell. They're just a compilation of funny stories. I got a million stories. Some of them are routine. Some of them are real stories. Yeah. But it's real. People love to bring them on at the beach. Yeah. I say leave them in the bathroom.
Question. I have a question.
What?
We got asking questions.
Yeah.
I got to do my job.
Wait, I didn't finish the last answer, but go ahead with a new question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. This is good. It makes for good TV.
Yeah.
A fist fight. Yeah. Like Jerry Springer.
Okay.
What's the question?
You made me.
You still remember what the question is?
You made me forget.
Oh shit, we're old.
Wait a second.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll come back. Go ahead, say something.
This is great.
You think it's easy doing this stuff?
Really?
It is actually.
It looks like Jay Leno's. Oh, he's not even a host anymore. That's how long it has been since. When
I went out there, Johnny Carson was the host.
Yeah,
I was 22 years old.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. First time I went out there.
That was probably the last time I watched late night TV when Johnny was.
Yeah, I wanted to be a movie star.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Here I am.
You
Here
are
I
a
am.
movie. You've been in some movies. What movies you been in?
Yeah. This what the one that I just did was in Colorado called Duffel Bag Boy. It's not out yet, but I had a pretty good role in that. It was
Yeah, what do you play?
I was a mob boss.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was he wanted me to be like a Gandolfini type character.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I had a good time, you know. Everybody said to the guys when I showed up on the set, I was in the back of a U-Haul. There was a guy tied up with a
Gag.
gag over his mouth.
Yeah.
And I got a gun on him and the whole bit. And he didn't show up with the bag. And so I had to go at him like a crazy guy, you know. But
Yeah.
and that was fun. Everybody said, all the guys
Open up a can of whoop ass.
Yeah, whoop
on
ass.
him. Yeah.
They said, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous? You must be so nervous, huh?" Yeah, kind of like the only one in the film. You know, there was a guy that was tied up, but he wasn't really there.
Yeah.
You know, I said
He was there, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it a
No,
ghost?
it's the camera. They just
Oh yeah.
those cameras do all
Okay.
kinds of fucking
Yeah, sure.
shit, right?
Okay.
So he says, they said to me, "Oh, you must be nervous as hell." I says, "To be honest with you, I'm not even a little nervous. I'm so fucking excited to be doing this." You know? That's it. When you get that opportunity,
When's this going to come out? And where can
I
we
have
see
no idea. He told me he was getting some good reviews on it, so
it? Yeah.
yeah, he's got it up for good distribution. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for
And
you.
then you have the heartbreaking stories, the ones that you didn't get, like
Yeah, sure.
The Town.
Oh.
Yeah, I was up for the part of the florist in that. Did you ever see The Town?
Oh yeah, the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the floor. Was that Peter Postlewaite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
possibly,
Oh
yeah.
wow. Yeah.
I was up
Well,
for
at
that.
least you lost to a good actor.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
running for a whole month.
I used to do auditions in LA when I lived in LA, and every time I came, it always came down to like me and one. It always came down to the very end, and I never got it.
Yeah.
Never got. And then the last one, I was supposed to play. They were looking for someone to play a lawyer from Boston.
Oh, really?
I didn't get it. I said, "How the fuck can I not get out?" That's why I'm just
That's
being
what
like.
I do.
They said your accent is too good. Well, your accent is so genuine, your Boston accent, that the people who are putting on a fake Boston accent are going to look bad by comparison. So we
Yeah.
can't have you in that part. So I said, the day I can't play a lawyer from Boston, I'm out of here.
That's
it.
funny.
Yeah.
And then you left.
Well,
Shortly
not exactly right
thereafter,
after
yeah.
that, but I left.
Yeah, and that broke my heart. I did the audition on film. That's
Yeah.
how you do them. And I got a call the next day. Ben Affleck wanted to meet me.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, so I went in there, and Ben got up from behind the table, shakes my hand. Don Tempesta said, "Wow, what a fantastic audition."
Wow.
Yeah, so
Good for you.
good for me if I got it. If I had gotten that role, I would have been so on the map. Believe me when I tell you, I would have
Yeah.
been, so many roles would have come my way if I had gotten that. Because I feel as though I would have done a better job than Postlethwaite, even though he was, a seasoned pro.
Sure.
But he did it like, "You're daddy. You're daddy." Didn't sound like any mob guy to me. He's supposed to be.
I'm gonna have to go back and review that again and see,
Yeah.
plug you in
Yeah.
and see how you would have done in that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely.
I remember him cutting the flowers and things.
Oh yeah, I would have killed that role. I really would have killed it.
I love moving. My family owned a drive-in theater. That's something I don't mention. My family owned a drive-in theater,
Yeah.
twin drive-in theater. That was my first job, $1.85 an hour.
That was my first piece of
Oh yeah.
popcorn.
Oh yeah. Oh, in the back.
yeah.
We used to get the tickets, and there used to be this girl come in with a different. Certain girls that come in with a
Yeah.
different guy like every week,
yeah.
and we'd park them in the back because it was all on landfill.
Yeah.
And we knew that the car would be bouncing up and down, so it was good for packing the.
Oh, she was a
the
good
back
kid.
of the thing. Yeah. So they would send me out to collect for the Jimmy Fund.
Yeah.
And I was like 16. I'm a virgin. I don't know anything. And
Yeah.
the kids they're trying to rip the can out of my hand, and like people are getting laid in the car, and I'm going, would you like to give to the? Well, where are your pants? And I had no idea. I hated that.
We had
Hated
it
that.
made in those days. We had it made. Today, I feel bad for today's generation. They don't have the same opportunities we had. And
Guy says to my brother, he gives him a $50 bill. He said, "What's that for?" He says, "I found out your parents own that drive-in theater. This is for all the times I snuck in the trunk."
Really?
Yeah, those are good old days. And then drive-in theater, the land was too valuable because you're taking up. It's a seasonal business.
Yeah.
You put the heaters in there and everything like
that.
that.
High rises.
Yeah.
Now,
So
right?
so you started putting in dirty movies in those days. You see worse on network TV now.
Yeah.
You might see a nipple for like a flash of a second, but you know what? I remember being a little kid and my parents arguing.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to keep the business going, because now cinemas come in.
Yeah.
And they're arguing because on the Mystic Valley Parkway, drunks would come home at night and see like a giant kid on the screen and we're in collision. They kept having accidents on the Parkway. He'd look over and go, oh, boom, right into the other car. So
I was just telling Paul about going to the drive-in with my mother and my son, and the movie was Pinocchio. We're watching Pinocchio, and when he lied, his nose didn't grow, but something else did. I drove right to the cashier, whatever he is, and I said, "Why didn't you tell me this was an adult movie?" And we left. But
she used to sit on him and go, "Lie to me, Pinocchio. Lie to me.
Lie to me. Come on, I know you're lying."
So you got to watch out for splinters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have hurt.
So you guys, listen.
You guys.
Let me just tell you this, right?
Thank God Tracy's writing these things because nobody else is writing anything. God bless you, Tracy.
Let me see.
What's it say?
Anybody else up there? We'll see. Yeah. Come on, guys. Where the hell are you? Anyway, if you
got a following of 2.
Who does it say that?
I'm just seeing 2 names.
Oh, okay. If he hasn't, if you haven't seen him at, say, Giggles, that's the only place I really go.
Well, you know what? It's not so much a club business anymore. You could go to a club and work there 7 days a week, 2 shows on Friday, 2 or more shows on Saturday, work Monday through Sunday nights.
Yeah.
It's not a club. I play at Giggles because I want to give people a chance to come and see me.
Yeah.
A lot of the shows now are benefits, fundraisers, special events, corporate shows, things like that. Theaters do a lot of theaters now and things like that. So as far as like clubs, like, hey, where can I come see you? You can't go to this show. It's a private show. This is a fundraising event. This is another special event. This is some banquet. So Giggles, by the way, is 5 minutes from my house.
I keep thinking I got a dog here. You hit me again with that fucking footy.
I'm playing footsies with you. Yeah.
And I keep jumping every time you do it.
Yeah, you haven't got any action for a while, huh?
No,
what the hell? Somebody's touching me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
My dick's like an appendix.
Yeah.
It has no use anymore. All I can do is get infected.
Same with my gallbladder.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just say, do you have a website? You must.
Of course, yeah. pdeangelo.com. Video, and I have on Facebook. I have a fan page. I don't know what the hell it's called. Probably called some variation of Paul Deangelo, but there's literally probably like over 100 videos there.
Oh, really?
Live videos and stuff. And I got a friend, Kevin, who Kevin's brilliant. He used to work for like, I think Parker Brothers.
Yeah.
And maybe like Hasbro, Mattel and stuff. And he was on the cutting edge of developing a lot of stuff like the Nerf. Remember they had the Nerf football and the shooting the Nerf guns and everything. He was one of the guys that developed them.
Oh, really?
So now he's got free time in his hand. He takes some of my audio tracks from my CDs. I released 3 CDs, and he puts images to it. He puts video to the images. And stuff like that. They're really clever. And he does these for me, and he's a good man and does that stuff. So I got between those and just the stand-up, there's got to be well over 100 videos that people could see on my Facebook fan page. There's a whole shitload of them on my website too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. How about the audio? Is that on your website? Does it tell you how to get them?
Audio, I'm sure that's on the Facebook fan page too. I think I get some audio stuff on there because I get the 4 CDs. What did I say? 4 CDs. And I'm gonna record on New Year's Eve too. I've got a videographer coming for I think a 2 or 3 camera shoot. I've been at the Lockholm Theater at the last I think this is my 9th year
Oh,
in
really?
Beverly. Yeah,
Wow.
beautiful theater with a balcony, and it's an early show, 7:30 show. People
Yeah.
are out by 9:30 or so, and it's always a privilege to play in a beautiful theater like that. To
Yeah,
really
yeah.
appreciate, you can't really. You try to say, "Hey, I want to appreciate this," but you're on stage. Your mind's going 1,000 miles an hour, thinking of what you're going to do next, what you just did, the reaction of the crowd and everything. So you can't really appreciate, but you got to stop sometimes and smell the roses and say, "Oh, this is a great opportunity to do this." I got a thing on my wall of my office from there's a singer, Aaron Lewis. He used to be with Stained, but he's a country star now. But he says, "I've played concert halls and holes in walls and places that a show just shouldn't be."
Oh, really?
And I go, "Oh, that's me. I put that up there." You know,
I like that.
So when you get a chance to play, you know, I mean, back in the late '80s when I started, that was like on the end of the peak of the comedy boom, and there was a comedy show in every Chinese restaurant, every rib place, every Mexican restaurant, and places that a show just shouldn't be sometimes. You know?
Let me just give a little shout out to a friend of mine, new friend, Javier, and his wife, Viviana. I said that I
They
would
got great
mention them.
names. They got great
they're
names.
Fantastic.
Paul, boy, you know,
He's
Don, Paul.
Yeah, I like that.
Paul, Don.
Don.
Viviana,
you come to me today and you ask me for
my favorite movie.
Mine too. I loved it. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's what I talked to what do you call it? Duval about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, he had a blast with
the mob guys." I met so many mob. They remind me of my uncles. They go, "Well, this guy."
Yeah.
I remember one time the lawyer comes in to Salem court when I was a prosecutor. I go, "What do you got today, Phil?" He goes, "I got a guy in from Walpole, but don't worry, he's doing a big stretch. We're just trying to clean some stuff up." And who is he? It's the guy who killed Albert DeSalvo in prison. I said, "Oh shit, whatever the hell he wants. I don't want him pissed at me." So years later, I'm doing another show, and there's Phil, and they go, "Hey, remember the time you came to the show? And I mean, you came to Salem Court, and you represented the guy who killed Albert, the Boston Strangler, in prison." He goes, "Yeah." He says, "I do." He says, "See the woman over there? Her son killed the guy who killed Albert DeSalvo." I go, "Oh, nice crowd you got here." Yeah. So, a lot of interesting stories from the DA's office too. You know.
You know John Mazie?
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Malden Court.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he used to be a cop. He was,
Yeah. Well, when I was defense attorney, I went because I was in Essex County as a prosecutor. So when I was a defense attorney, I'd go all over the place, Middlesex, Suffolk.
John's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great
guy.
guy.
I remember the name Malden Court. I was in Malden Court a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. One time we're leaving Malden Court, and this guy was charged, I think, with driving under the possession of under the influence of marijuana, I think. But I got him off on the thing, on the trial, and then they give him
you got him off. What did he give you an ounce?
No, we walked out of the courthouse. We walked out of the courthouse, and I got a manila envelope that they gave me with all his stuff. You know, they took from that night. Here's your wallet. Here's your thing they took from you. Here's the thing. And I look inside. I said, "Oh Jesus!" I said, "What?" I said, "They gave you back your weed." "What?" I said, "There's like an ounce of weed in here."
Oh, really?
"What are you gonna do?" And I look up the stairs. There's they got the court officers, with the guns, the cops up there. They got the metal detector. I go, if I go into court, I go, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get the guy in trouble who put it in the evidence bag by accident and everything. I go, just get the hell out of here. Just get the hell out of here. Keep the weed. Tell him you've got the best fucking lawyer on the North Shore. He goes, "Oh, you're the best. You're the best. You got me off. You got me weed." Yeah. So the statute of limitations is run.
Yeah. He's funny, but real life is funnier. Am I right?
Oh well, yeah. A lot. Even the stuff that I fabricate in my act has got to have a basis of reality. It's all got a basis of reality, and then you take it and you manipulate. I work hard on anybody. I got. There's not a new routine. There's an old routine. It's a good routine.
Yeah.
But I made it a better routine. I probably put 5 hours into that thing in the last couple of days. But I help out a lot of new comics coming out because I love the whole process. I love talking about the writing process, and it's kind of like a math equation. It's got to add up, and a great piece of advice. I remember when I was in LA, I was helping out comedians in LA, and one of them came to me one day, and I was working with him, and I said, "Did you write anything new since last week?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a new joke." I said, "Well, tell me the joke." He told me the joke. He said, "What do you think?" I said, "More important, what do you think?" He goes, "I think it's a good joke." I said, "Why don't you want it to be a great joke?" He said, "I never thought of that." So I had a really good joke.
Yeah.
I'm making it a great joke. So the writing is important, but the rewriting is just as important. And then once you get it right, then you do it that way every time. Because why mess with it? You work hard to, and the thing about comedy is you get instant reaction. You make a movie.
Yeah.
You play a part. You don't see it until you might not even see it until the movie comes out. You do comedy, you get an instant reaction from the crowd. So I tell comedians that I'm helping out, at the beginning, I said, you have an opportunity, you get feedback from the crowd.
Yeah.
What do you do with that feedback? You go home and I go home and I write, oh, this part of the joke is weak, this part needs work, this part's good, and what do you do with that response you get from the audience? Do you make it into a better joke? Do you rework the joke? Do you get it right? So that's what separates it, like a okay comic from a great comic.
A big regret of mine is I didn't get into comedy until I was 74 years old. With Johnny Peasy got me involved.
Yeah,
yeah, and I could have done it. I know I would have done well with it. I thought of doing it when I was like 27, 28. There was a girl at the acting school I was going to.
Yeah,
and I asked her to do it with me because I wanted to do it.
You're trying to get laid.
Well, that besides.
That's true, yeah.
But I wanted to do a team thing,
Yeah.
But you're better
like Burns and Allen or something.
Yeah, you're better off doing it on your own,
Comedy's a very individualistic thing. I mean, you're on stage alone. You do your business alone, everything. So it's that type of thing.
Martin and Lewis. Let me see what we got here. Jake Holmes. Oh, was that Jake? Yeah, a joke. Yeah. Jake Holmes. Oh, wait a second. It's Dan, not Jake. That's my son. What's up, buddy? Donny T here. Okay. Hey, guys. Tell Dan hello, will you?
Hi, Dan. How are you? Is that Dan in Las Vegas?
No, that's Dan in Virginia.
Oh, geez. They're all over the place, huh?
Yeah. I get them everywhere. Not really, but.
My little Italian mother turned 91 last week.
No.
Yeah. She doesn't see us enough. All four of us are within a mile of her house. We're over there every day.
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah. She's
I was like
she's shrinking like a concert T-shirt in a clothes drive. I'm telling you. One day there's going to be just a broomstick and a hat. And then, Mama, where'd you go? But she's beautiful. Oh, 91 years old.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah, still afraid of her.
Yeah,
still afraid of her. Yeah, 67. She still treats me like I'm 12. Wear a jacket.
I wish
it's cold out. It's going to be cold on Saturday. It's only Wednesday. Yeah, but start dressing up now.
Get ready.
I did the art show. I had a 3-week art exhibit, exclusive art exhibit in Wakefield in September.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time, spent a lot of effort on it. It was really cool. It was a rock and roll art exhibit.
Oh, really?
It was a good excuse for me to buy a new sound system. When I put it up there, I had all rock and roll music. People came in and stuff. My mother came.
Oh, wow.
With a 90-year-old friend, and the 80-year-old friend is still driving. So she brought it. I said, oh, Jesus, my mother saw the art show. So the next day I went over to her house. I was afraid to ask. Yeah. Mama, what did you think of the art exhibit? You're not going to wear that shirt again, are you? I go, what shirt? That shirt you will wear. That's my favorite shirt. I don't like it. I go, well, I'm glad you enjoyed the art exhibit. I mean, it's beautiful.
Italian mothers is something else, man.
Oh, yeah.
They would stop a bullet for you.
Oh, yeah.
My
mother worried. That's why I think she's getting smaller, because she worries that she get the weight of the world on her shoulders.
Yeah.
I think all the pressure's compressing her.
My mother was just like that, too. They they'll do anything for their kids. I'm like that with my kids. That's how I feel anyway. And when they hurt, you hurt even more. So
yeah,
any pain that you suffered, your mother suffered 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So. Worrying is like oxygen to my mother. She didn't have something to worry about.
I know.
It's like she needs it. If there's nothing to, she could win the lottery and go, oh, the taxes. I used to say, because you can be you know, you could be like your parents, or you could be the opposite of parents, or you could be like, you know, something in the middle. Like I used to say, like, you know, if your parents beat you when you were a kid, you could grow up to go, hey, my parents beat me, I'm gonna pass this on to you, I'm gonna beat you like my parents. Or you can go, I will never do to my kids what my parents said. So my mother's so negative. I'm always the glass is half full.
Yeah.
I see the good in everything, even if bad. You know, my father passed away at 74, you know, unexpectedly. I go, yeah, but I had a great father for all those years, and I always tried to see the good. My mother's glass isn't half full; it's half empty. It's dirty. It's cracked, and it's my fault somehow.
If you dwell on your negatives, you'll never.
But you know what? But that's what you know. But you still, that's what forms you growing up. So you know. So my mother and father, you say I'm humble and stuff like that, because my parents taught me to be like that. But because you're like that, because you maybe don't get the validation, maybe they don't say you're the greatest thing in the world, you could give up, or it could motivate you. And what it did for me, it motivated me. So I said, maybe if I do this, maybe if I write this sitcom, it'll be good. Or maybe if I, you know, do this show, it'll be good. Or I write this book, it'll impress them, you know? So it motivates you to excel, you know? So
you have a great work ethic. A lot of people don't, and that's what's missing.
Well, that comes from that. It also comes from being a lawyer.
Yeah, from success or failure.
Being organized. A lot of comedians are not, you know, organized. You know, organize your thoughts, organize, you know, discipline.
Yeah, when I first met you, you were telling me about your organizational skills, how you have everything like mapped out.
Well, it's like a joke, like somebody will say, hey, what do you think of this joke? And I look at their notebook, and it's just a paragraph, a blob of things. I go, and I says, you know, it's kind of like a math equation. You know, there's different parts to the joke. So I break them down. I break it down into like an outline, and I use bold, and I use italics, and I use different colors, and I use capitalization, you know, because it's visual to me. For me to, you know how my jokes go. I have jokes that go on like for a minute, 2 minutes and stuff. So when you have a joke like that, you have to have, there's a rhythm to it too. Yeah. Like if I haven't done, there's an old joke I haven't done for a while, I got to go back and practice it again, because if you're hesitant, it
shows
impacts on the joke. So you have to have that. So if you're going to do this long joke, you better have bing, you know. So
you certainly get that.
There's a certain rhythm to it, you know.
Yeah, you're all energy when you're up there. You're all energy. You're a ball of sweat when you leave that stage.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the situation. That's the one thing about comedy. Every situation is different. The lighting's different. The crowd's different day of the week. The size of the crowd. What happened that day? The sound system. The setup of the room. You know, everything's different. So you know, like sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not appropriate to be high energy. Sometimes I sit on the stool and take my time. You know, maybe the crowd's burnt out from something else. So you know, the secret is to go into each of those different situations and try to make the best of it.
Do you ever find your mood of the day carries on into your performance of the night?
It can't.
No, but
it can't. I've come from wakes.
Yeah.
I've done shows a couple of days after my dad passed away, friends' wakes.
Yeah.
Think you can't, because people pay money to see you.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit if you had a bad day.
Yep.
And you know what? And once the stage, every time that, you know, the light hits you, you got to forget about all that stuff. Yeah. You're a performer, and you're getting paid, and you're getting paid to make people laugh. They don't give a shit about, you know, what you did before you got there. And so you can't let it affect you.
Say hi to the Italian stallion. He's saying hi to Tracy, but he's a good man.
He's trying to pick up Tracy.
Tracy must be, you know, the
Italian stallion.
Hi, Donny T, Paul D. Well, you got two friends here, Italian stallion.
Yeah. Who was the original Italian stallion? Was that Stallone?
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. My favorite DA. I always told Paul a cop, a criminal, and a DA, LOL. Oh, Elaine Victoria Gray, my girl. Good evening, gentlemen. I think she meant gentlemen, though. You hit the wrong key, baby. I still love you, though. Okay.
This is a great little setup you got here.
It's nice here.
Yeah. How many of these have you done?
About 33.
33 of these?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. You got a
Yeah.
body of work
You know what?
and a couple bodies in the basement.
I'm a lucky man so far
You are,
as
yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because to sit with a friend for like an hour or so is such a special thing. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, you know.
Well, you talk about Hollywood, and Hollywood's weird because I try to explain to my dad, so how come this guy's famous and you're not? I go, it's Hollywood's weird. It's not like 2 + 2 is not 4.
No.
If you're in the minors, you're hitting 400. They're gonna bring you up.
Yeah.
Hollywood, it's not necessarily. So he goes, my father, you must be pissing somebody off. I says, I'm nice to everybody. What are you talking about?
Maybe that's it.
I think Hollywood to me was that like Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home moment. Like going, you know what? I can work out of Boston instead and still be near my family, my friends, hang out. Even when I used to work the road, you'd be in a hotel room. You're sitting there like an idiot for 22 hours a day. And then you go to the club and you do your 45 minutes and you're back in the hotel room again. And I'm going, I could be home. I could be doing a painting. I could be doing a drawing. I could be working on some project or something like that. So, so Hollywood was like it was about friends and family, because when it all comes down to it, that's, you could have a billion followers, but how many of those people do you actually know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why
that's me making an excuse for not having a billion followers. I do these things. I write these these jokes. These are complex jokes. They're very intelligent jokes and everything like that. Oh wow, you got 5,000 likes. I go, a cat fell off a radiator, got 1 million likes. I mean, what the hell? I don't get it.
You do good work, man. It's I just have a great time doing this. Everybody says, "Do you get paid for this, Donny?" I don't get 10 cents.
I'm not getting paid for this?
I told you.
The fuck?
No, I told you. I told you are. You're the only one that's going to get paid.
No, you made me a coffee.
I guess.
Right.
Well, I guess
coffee.
7
get paid in coffee.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. I don't even have.
I came here early because I was with my brother's band. I'm in a band too.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. I play guitar, but not in this band. It's my brother's band and my friend Paul.
What do you do in the band then?
I play harmonica in this band. I do a little background vocals and stuff.
I was telling you, my father played a mean harmonica.
Really?
And the spoons.
No kidding.
Too. He played the spoons too.
The reason I got, how I got started on the harmonica? Somebody bought me one for Christmas when I was a kid.
Really?
So I had an album, Jonathan Edwards. Remember Shanty, Sunshine Go Away Today and stuff?
Yeah.
There were like 4 or 5 harmonica songs in that. There were 3 of the songs I got note for note. The other 3 songs, no matter how much I practice, I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
What's going on? And then years later, I see a professional harmonica player. He takes a harmonica down, picks up another. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I got to get another key." I go, "Key? They come in different keys?" That's how stupid I was. I didn't even know. So now I buy an A harmonica. I go, "Oh, now I can figure out those songs, and stuff." And that's how I started playing. And then with my brothers, we started during the pandemic because when we were stuck in the house with the lockdown, everyone was going nuts. You couldn't go up. So we started doing like I forget if it was like every couple of weeks we do a concert, a live feed of the concert, and we'd do like 15, 16 songs, and then and people would look forward to it. It was great for us because we get to practice and gave us a reason to live during that whole thing, and
entertaining.
And that's when we started. That's when we started with this configuration of the band. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Entertaining is so rewarding to the person that's entertaining.
Well, what's funny? It's like I said to we did a show. I did a show somewhere, and somebody had a problem because there was some noise coming from the back of the room. I said, it's funny when I played with the band. I said to my brother, I said, I'm watching. We got like 100 and something people at this place is packed. I said, but only a few people are really paying attention every note. Like I'm a musician, so if I watch a musician, I'm looking at like the chords he's playing. I'm trying to pick up something from what he's doing. But most of the people, it's kind of background music. There's only a few people really. A comedy show, you could have 300 people. If one guy talks, you go, "Shut the fuck up."
Exactly.
It's very different than you know what I'm saying? It's different than playing the music. So,
you ever see Lenny get heckled?
Oh, many times, yeah, and give it back to him, yeah.
Oh, big time, big time.
Now, my father gave me a valuable lesson with hecklers. I think he saw me go after a heckler who was disrupting the show, and he said, don't be a bully up there.
Yeah.
When you get the microphone, he says, and don't alienate the people you're trying to win over. So
Yeah.
now, that's another good thing about not the clubs. When you're doing all these fundraising benefits, corporate thing, you don't really get the drunks.
No.
You don't get the hecklers so much. That really happens to
Yeah.
me. Plus, I'm kind of like you said, high energy. I don't really give people a chance to do it. So I don't really get that. But when I do get it now, and I say now, but for many, many years, I give the person a chance to shut up.
Yeah.
I give him another chance. I give him another chance, and then at some point, now I turn the crowd against him and go, "Hey, did you come here to listen to this guy or me?" Now the crowd's like, "Hey, shut up! I paid money for this ticket." So
exactly.
Here's the way to handle it.
Yeah, you got to turn him against himself.
I can remember sitting down when I was a young comic, or the first couple of years. It said, somebody would heckle, and I go, "Geez, I wish I had something to say." So I'd go home and I'm just going to write heckler lines. So I would sit down and write comebacks for hecklers, and then I had a whole nother sheet of lines I could say to a bad crowd.
I always wanted to get heckled when I started doing comedy. I did it only for a year, but I kind of wanted to see how I would react.
No, you don't.
That bad. Huh?
No, you know what it is? Heckling's like, when you're cooking and you put a little pepper, you put a little thing. It's good, like a little seasoning. But if it starts to take away from the show, it's no good.
Yeah, that's what Lenny. That drove Lenny crazy.
Yeah. It's good if it leads to something else, and then now shut up.
It takes away from the cadence.
And that's why sometimes, like a lot of comedians don't like a guy to go on before them who works the crowd.
Yeah. And
I really don't care who goes on before me. If I can't follow them, then I don't deserve to be closing the show. And I close every show.
Yeah.
But you don't want the guy to go on before you to make the crowd think that it's class participation, that everybody can yell up at any time. You don't want to encourage that, so.
Not at all. Nope. 100% right. 100%. So what do you think? Pretty cool little situation here.
Yeah, this is great. This is a great little place.
I love these people that watch,
Yeah, God bless them. Yeah.
They've been there for me, I gotta say. I always told them, Donny T and friends. Without the friends, ain't no Donny T, Some great people.
Yeah, I remember you had that. Remember you had that Winnebago with all the jackets inside. My girl just paid $1,000 for one of those Canadian Goose jackets. I see it, and you get it for like
I still
$25 in the thing. Hey, $25 in a cocktail.
Yeah, and a package of Twinkies.
Yeah.
You say, Paul D, I swear I've seen you before somewhere. Are you a comedian? Are you a comedian?
Am I a comedian? Where have you been? Yeah.
He's been a comedian for 37 years.
Yes, sir. I'm sure you have.
Hi, Donny and Paul. Elaine Victoria. Hey, baby, I love you, Elaine. So she's been on my show, Elaine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's good. She's good. We've been on many movie sets together, Yeah. It's a lot of fun. With it. Meet people in the industry, Let's see, what's that say? Get out of there. What's that say? I see. I'm not good with anything technology-wise. Oh, wait a second. My favorite DA. Hi, Donny, Paul, blah, blah, blah. Hi, Tracy. I did. Good evening, gentlemen, blah, blah, blah. You can help me see this stuff?
DA, I've seen what the guy said about DA. I was good at what I did. I wish I sucked at being a lawyer. Would have made the transition a lot easier on my parents. They say, you really not a good lawyer. Why don't you give this comedy a try? Instead, it was, what are you doing this for? My mother went to my first show.
Really?
Yeah. You know what her reaction was? I'm glad you got this out of your system.
Oh.
37 years later, here I am.
My father always called me a lazy bastard. You can't do nothing. No, you don't want to work. You're lazy, blah, blah, blah. Dad, I figured it out. I want to be an actor.
Oh, yeah. He must have been thrilled with that.
Oh, he said to me, why an actor? Why don't you be a baker? I said, why a baker? At least you'll get some roles.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's where you get your sense of humor.
From my father, yeah. Sometimes. My father hated anybody to upstage him.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
My dad was a legend. My dad was he's a football star. He was a Gold Gloves boxer.
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah, he had tryouts with the NFL.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Huh?
But he was also a very humble man too, So he threw me the football when I was a kid. I'd spike it. And he goes,
"No, spike."
He says, "No." He says, "Act like you've been there before," because that's what Paul Brown said to people, So keep you humble.
I think Belichick adopted that saying as well. Act like you've been there before.
Yeah, he's somewhere he hasn't been before, which is the last place. Yeah,
I know where I heard that before. It wasn't him. It was from
Paul Brown, I thought it was.
Customato.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Mike Tyson's the ring man.
He celebrated.
Yeah, the corner man.
And he said, "Come here. Don't do that. Show them that you've been here before."
Yeah. Was he with Ali? Was he with Hagler?
Customato. No,
Yeah.
he was with Tyson.
Well, with Tyson, but Tyson wasn't his first though. He'd been around for a long time.
He probably was.
I think yeah. My dad used to take me in those days. He used to have to go see the fights in closed circuit.
Yeah,
We'd go in the Boston Garden, to see the Thriller in Manila, or whatever. And then one day, my father was just a kid. My father goes, "That's it. We're not coming here anymore." Why? He says, "More fights in the stands than there are in the ring." Because they'd have preliminary bouts. All the drunks in the crowd thought they were all boxers, and they started to be fights everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best part of it. I watched all those fights. Yeah.
We used to have them down the beach. It was a roller skating arena down the beach. It was the
what beach?
Revere Beach.
Oh, you mean the Wonderland Ballroom?
No. It was after that, and I forget what the name of it was, but we used to see the fights there all the time.
Yeah.
I saw it, and they had wrestling.
The Harbor House. Remember Harbor House had fights?
I used to work there.
Yeah. The Harbor House. Yeah. All those places used to go.
My friend Mikey Cadge fought there. You know who else fought there? Vinny Paz.
Yeah, Vinny was at my show down in Rhode Island.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, he wanted me to go drinking with him and his pals afterwards. I had one drink and I slipped out the back. Jack.
That's how.
Yeah, I says, "Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble if I stay here."
Yeah, I think he caused a little havoc somewhere along the line.
Yeah,
he can't drive. He's not allowed to drive.
No,
they took his license away.
An amazing story though. You see in the movie too. They did a great job in that movie.
Oh my!
Was that Miles Teller? I think it was Miles Teller. Yeah, he's a great actor. Whiplash. He was in Whiplash. The drummer. Yeah.
Paz said to him, he says, "Wow," he says, "how'd you do that?" He says, "You played me better than me."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great actor.
Oh, yeah, I liked him a lot. He was up for the role of Elvis too, the one the movie they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big star now. He was in the new Top Gun, so now everybody knows him. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Whiplash is the first one. He was the drummer. He was going to a school like Berkeley.
I loved it. It was
and stuff. That's a great. And it shows you the dedication you need.
For anything.
To be good at anything. Every comedian I work with said to me, they go, "I didn't know how hard you work at this." I said, "How good do you want to be?"
Exactly.
And now that's what I ask. Like when I start working with a comedian, the first thing I ask, and I go, "What do you want to get out of this? You just something you're trying to get out of your system? Do you want to play in Las Vegas? Do you want to headline comedy clubs? There's a lot of you can do a couple open mics and call yourself a comedian, or you can play, big theaters and stuff like that. So what do you want to get out? Some people go, I just want to, just an outlet or something I could do. To give me, it's always something I want to do. Other people go, oh, I'd like to get to a point where I get paid for it. So that's the first thing, because I would impose my values on. I'd have friends who were comedians. I try to help them out for selfish. They thought I was being good. It's selfish reason. No, I want you to be good enough that I can have you for my opening act, and I get to hang out with my friends, So I'd help them with their act, and then I realized at some point, I go, you know what, I can't hold them for the same standards that I hold myself to, because I can inspire them and everything like that, but then you got to do it on your own, and even I would write stuff for them, and then people come up to me and go, hey, your buddy's doing great now. He sounds a lot like you. I go, that's because I wrote that shit, So I said, I'm not doing people a favor if I write for them. I'll tell you how to write. I'll tell you how to.
I know you're
to
a
take care of stuff.
generous man.
Yeah, but yeah, I like talking about it. You know, I like the whole trying to pass on the things that I've learned, sometimes painfully.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the way. You can't be afraid to fail in this business. You know, you it's very difficult for a new comedian to come up and you're doing open mics and they're only giving you 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I wanna put in some new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to develop that material, but on the other hand, I tell him, I said, don't do your open mic. Don't try to impress the other comedians in the back of the room because they're not going to help you.
No.
Go there and use that as a workshop, as a learning experience, and try to get better so you don't have to do open mics anymore.
When Rodney Dangerfield put Sam Kennison on, he said, I want you to give me 7 minutes. He says, I'm not even warmed up by that 7 minutes. He says, that's it. That's what you got. 7 minutes. Give me the best. And he ended up proving himself.
Wow. Yeah.
He was a funny bastard, Sam.
Oh, I would have a much more difficult time if somebody said do 10 minutes than if they told me to do an hour.
Yeah.
It would be harder for me to figure out what to do for 10 minutes
I know.
than to do for an hour.
When you're limited like that.
Yeah.
You know, I did, the first time I did it, Peasy says, give me like 5 to 7 minutes. No, I'd never done it before. I was never on stage. So I said, oh, I've never done comedy before. I don't want to do it. He says, come on, you could do it. You've acted before. And yeah, it's not the same. Anyway, I said, okay, I forget this age. If I'm going to ever do it, I might as well do it now. So I go home and I write down all my material, you know. I go out there and I do it. After about 7 minutes, I told him, I said, Johnny, whatever you do, don't pull me off stage until I'm done with my routine. So I would never do that. You're my friend. Next thing you know, the light comes on me. And what a smart ass I was. He says, I see the light, Johnny. I see the light. And I just kept going. I did 15 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
He wanted to fucking kill me.
Well, the first time I ever did it was at Stitches on Common Ave in Boston. And literally the host had to come out and grab me by the arm and take me out. I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah, you were on a roll.
Yeah,
I
love this.
Felt,
yeah. But I tell the new comedians, I tell them, you know, half the business, half the battle is just being a pro.
Yeah.
You're doing what they tell you to do, showing up on time. Don't be drunk or high. Don't be vulgar. Don't horrify a crowd. No. Do your time. Don't go over your time. Don't be under your time. Do what you're told to do. You know, and half the battle is that. And I said by attrition you'll move up the ladder because a lot of guys are self-destructive. They won't do this. They can't use this. This guy's not reliable anymore.
I think the first time you can get away with going over because you don't know anything.
You learn. I'm sure I did that at the beginning too. You know, and I learned. You know, and guys called me out on it. I said, you know, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. You know.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So I just got good enough that I go at the end and I can do as much time as I want most of the time. You know.
Speaking of time, let's see.
What's that? Is it over in 1 hour exactly? Is that how long it goes?
That's usually what I do.
That goes by fast, huh?
Unless you want to do 2 hours. Do you want to do 2?
You pay me twice as much? What's 2 times 0?
No, 3 times as much.
3 times as much.
You know, let's see what we got here. Oh, let me see. Stallion.
And people can watch this right on YouTube after this is
right as soon as this is done.
You don't have to watch it live.
You don't have to watch it live. As soon as this is done, you can go right to YouTube and watch the whole show.
Somebody asked if I'm from the North End. I'm from Wakefield, Mass.
Yeah.
Wakefield. I live in the house that my grandfather built when he came from Sicily in the 1920s. He had a store that serviced the Italian American community, and my brothers and I bought the house and fixed it up, and we all live. My brother lives underneath me. He's got the band, so when the house is going like this, instead of like a regular neighbor going down and going saying "Shut up," I go downstairs and go, "What are you doing?"
You got a question here.
I got a question.
Paul,
you got the glasses. You be my eyes.
I'll be
my eyes.
Well, on the 10th, I got to go for an eye thing there. Anyway, Paul, you ever go to Just for Laughs in Montreal, Canada?
Yes, I did Just for Laughs in Montreal.
Oh, you did?
I did it when I was in LA, maybe in the maybe it was 2000 and I came back into maybe around 2000, 1999. Did the Just for Laughs festival, the New Faces there.
Donny, you remember Mark Monero, the boxer from East Boston. Good fighter back in the day. I remember the name. I don't remember him. Joe Solaro, my buddy. Let's go to the pool room. I'll meet you down there. Hello, Donny. How about a show on the old billiard lounge?
That sounds like it's just the name of that place. Sounds like interesting.
You know what? I would love to get somebody from the billiard lounge to come on my show and talk about the days there. We had some fun.
I got 2 jars at home like this, filled with matchbooks. Back in those days, every restaurant, every bar, every place had matchbooks with their name because they use it for advertising. And I got a collection of hundreds and hundreds of these things. I got to dump that thing out and look at all the places that aren't around anymore.
Yeah. Delta 9779. Your favorite flea market cop. Tell Paul he is my favorite DA and comedian.
Oh, thank you. Who's that? It must be someone I know.
Tony Davis. You know Tony Davis?
Tony Davis. Tony.
You know who he is?
What's happening, buddy?
You know who he is?
I recall Tony, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a pseudonym.
I was a good, all the cops. I'm friends with so many cops when I was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
I always treated the cops well, took good care of them, and a lot of them still come to my shows.
That
And
man
I'm always honored when they do that. Yeah.
watched my back. I'll tell you a funny story.
You know, I supervised, I think, at least a dozen or more judges,
Yeah.
including someone who's on the Supreme Judicial Court right now,
Really?
and the Chief Justice in Salem Court, and a whole bunch of judges who overcame my influence
Oh, really?
to become successful. Yes.
Oh, you've had a good life, buddy.
Yeah, I have. I'm blessed.
Down the flea market, right? I'm down there, and everybody down there was selling razor blades, Gillette, if they could get their hands on them, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm down there one day, and my dad's there, right? And he says, Donny, see that guy over there? He's walked by your table about 7 times, and he's looking down at your stuff. I said, okay. Now, he comes over to me, and he says, hey, Donaldo. Donaldo, that's not my name. He says, I see what you're doing. You're selling razor blades down here. I says, yeah. He says, you know, you can get in trouble for that. He shows me his credentials. He's a special investigator for Gillette, and on and on and on. So I see my friend, Tony Davis, which is not his real name, and he's standing there, and he says, how can you tell Tony, do this in front of Tony, and he's supposed to be your good friend? I says, hold on a second. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to tell you something. I would never, ever do anything that would jeopardize Tony. He is my good friend. He says, yeah, but you got the blades. You're not supposed to sell them. You know, you can get in trouble for it. I said, listen, come here. Let me show you something. I got receipts for the blades.
Oh, yeah?
There was a place on Shirley Ave in Revere, and they were selling them down there for like $4.50, and I sold them for $5.
Yeah.
But I was getting them from elsewhere too, so I mixed them in.
Oh, yeah?
And he says, where'd you get that? I says, I got it from a store. And he looks at my friend Tony Davis, and he says, can I get that receipt? I said, no. I says, what if somebody else comes around and breaking my balls? You know, so he says, can I get a copy of it? I said to my friend, he said, yeah, give me a copy. So that was it. But my friend said, come over to me. He said, Donny, only you could pull that one off. The guy walked away scratching his ass. I think it was the ex-FBI. But, yeah, the flea market.
So you would have been in a cell.
Yeah.
Because what did you do? I murdered 2 people. What did you do? I robbed a bank. What about you? I sold razor blades.
Yeah.
Hey, you got any?
I sold a lot of them back in the day, you know. But this is a wonderful night, guys. And I've been dying to get this guy on for the longest time. And I'm sure there's no doubt in my mind he's got 1,000 more stories. And anytime you want to come back here,
Thanks.
you are more than welcome. And these guys would love to see you back again. Because when they get somebody special, You want to use them up as much as you
Well,
can.
I'm honored that you asked me to be on this.
You're the best, buddy.
You are.
I love you. You know that. Guys, you take care. Have a great night.
Come to my show. Laugh. You need to laugh.
Make
The world
sure.
sucks.
Yeah, make sure.
Come and laugh. I make fun of the world.
Yeah, call down the
It's
giggles
therapeutic.
and see when he's playing again.
December 1 and 2.
Oh, really?
I think. Is that? Yeah. I think the first weekend with my buddy Mitch Stinson.
Oh, Mitch is a good guy.
Mitch and I are best of friends. And Mitch is on that show, I believe.
That's
and,
sweetheart. Yeah. So
yeah.
that's it, guys. Make sure you watch your show. Believe me, I never lied to you and I never will. Watch your show. You will love it. God bless you. See you later.